So today is going to be the first review on my channel here in the Joe Begos filmography. Joe Begos is an up-and-coming director, writer, producer. Hell, the man has even done some acting, some camera work, and cinematography. I guess you could say he can do it all. He has 5 feature-length films under his belt so far, and Almost Human, this movie right here, was his directorial debut. I will say right now, I love this movie, every minute of it. So, Almost Human starts out in 1987. You have Seth, played by Graham Skipper, who's in numerous Joe Begos films. Seth has just witnessed a beam of light take away one of his friends. He runs nearby to his other buddy Mark's place, where he attempts to explain this wild fucking incident. Mark doesn't believe it at first until blue lights start flashing outside of his house, and even knocking out the power. He goes outside to check it out despite Seth trying to stop him, and Mark vanishes, never to be seen again. So Seth, along with Mark's wife Jen, were the only people to witness this, and since they only had faint recollections of what exactly happened, Jen blamed Seth. Seth was arrested, but after being questioned by police, they were not convinced that he was guilty of anything. But it's a small town, and Seth's reputation is ruined. He also gets sporadic nosebleeds and stabbing, spontaneous headaches from the incident, so his overall health has suffered as well. It's been 2 years now, and Jen has done her best to move on, but Seth has not been able to. Something ominous is out there, and he's sure of it. Strange murders start happening in this small town of Patton, Maine. Very unusual. Seth knows that something isn't quite right. He visits Jen at work, who he hasn't spoken to since the incident. She apologizes for blaming him, but doesn't want to talk about the past. Later that day, she starts to feel kind of weird, just like Seth does, like something really bad is about to happen. So why are people being murdered around town? What is this dread that Seth and Jen are feeling? So I own and have seen all Joe Begos films now, except for one, which is Bliss from 2019, and I really want to see that. His filmography is just so fun, and I'd say he's one of my favorite current directors, and I'd be hard-pressed to choose a favorite of his films. It looks to me like the critical reception upon release was a little bit skewed towards the negative side, or at best, mixed reviews. Personally, I think Almost Human is a hell of a lot of fun. One publication claimed that it has a slow second act, but I don't really see it that way, and I actually think the pacing is just fine. Keep in mind that this is a feature-length debut, and I'll say it again, I really love this movie, flaws and all. It's a nice throwback to the glory days of Carpenter and Cronenberg. It's a fun, grimy, splattery ride with lots of heads being squashed, hacked, and shotgun blasted. No head is safe here. So I'm giving it Almost Human an 8 out of 10. Highly recommended.